Okay, this video is called Shopping Mall and Bookstore. Okay, I recently went to the shopping mall, and the first thing I noticed is that most of the stores were all boarded up. It looked like some type of post-apocalyptic Mad Max scene or something. Half the stores had gone bankrupt, that's why they're all boarded up. And you know, it's partly because the internet stores, the internet bookstores and other stores have stolen away a lot of their business. It's partly because some of the big chain stores, places like Walmart, have taken up much of the business and put all these little mom and pop places out of business. It's partly also because of the crime. You know, once you've got a open you know what thing, you know, way down south, you know what it's called the border. Okay, these places become progressively less safe. When I was a kid, 1970s and 1980s, we just went down to the mall. If you had nothing to do, you went to the mall and you'd run into a bunch of your friends from school. It was a nice, fun place to be, and it was a safe place to be, and we shopped there. Our families went there. It was all nice, okay? But you can't have that. Third world people, they just destroy everything, and then they sit around and complain, okay? They're just how they are. No country can survive with an open you-know-what way down south. You know, you have to have a border or you don't have a country. Anyway, so that was a little bit sad. Then I went to the bookstore, and there's not many bookstores. You drive around, you can tell a lot about a culture. Nail salons, you know, alcohol stores. There's tons of those. Not too many bookstores. Okay, so I go to the bookstore. You know, I want to see what's there. I haven't been to a bookstore in a long time. And I noticed that, in a sense, when I'm looking at all the current events books, it's like noble masculinity has been chased out of the public sphere. It's kind of like what you see in other institutions of America. You know, in the art museums, almost all the art nowadays is fake art. If you go to like some random public place, like go to an apartment complex, you'll see instead of paintings, they have modern art crap on the wall. Well, why do they put modern art crap on the wall? Because it's not offensive. Why do they play elevator music? Because it's not offensive. So everybody's afraid of political correctness, which is communism, not to be offensive. So they won't play classroom music. Oh, that's a little quasi-religious, little Christian. We can't play that. Well, guess what? Most of the best music is all Christian. So if you don't want to play good music, then yeah, you can't play Christian. You know, most of the best art, it's all Christian art. You know, all this multiculturalism, trying to pretend that there's any culture that's even 1,000th as good as Christianity is ridiculous, okay? You go to Hollywood. Hollywood now is all filled with filthy, scumbag, evil people. Then they have no talent either. I mean, you know, Hollywood, all the heroes have been chased out. You know, there's no more Bing Crosby, Spencer Tracy, Charlton Heston, Cecil DeMille, Clint Eastwood, Sylvester Stallone, Eddie Murphy, Bill Cosby. And, you know, people can say bad things about Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby got in trouble because he told the truth. He wouldn't sell out, okay? When you don't sell out, you get screwed over. When you're a scumbag lowlife like P. Diddy, then he gets let off. But P. Diddy did a million things worse than Bill Cosby did. Okay, Bill Cosby was a good comedian. He had a good show. It was a good family show. It was good for kids to see that. Bill Murray was great. Rodney Dangerfield, Mel Gibson. There were lots of great, impressive men that you could look up to as role models. Young guys need that. They need to see good, noble masculinity role models that helps them to develop. Okay? Nowadays, you'll sometimes see them, but you're hard to find them on the internet. They're there, but they're hard to find. You know, the current events books, like I said, it's all these like lefty, pinko, commie, homo, low IQ, totally feminized, wimpy authors. Nobody wants to read that. That's not appealing to a man. That's not appealing to a woman. We want to read somebody who's intelligent, somebody who has a strong voice, somebody who tells the truth, somebody who's trying to help us, not somebody who's trying to gaslight us and who doesn't really know what they're talking about and just kissed ass to get some little minor level of status, okay? There's no writers like Hemingway, Tom Wolfe, Ayn Rand, Michael Crichton. There's nobody like that. At least there's Ann Coulter. I like Ann Coulter, but I didn't see a single book of Ann Coulter's over there. She's the greatest female genius writer, you know, probably of all time, you know. Her and Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand's books are a little bit older. Atlas Shrugged. I didn't even see Atlas Shrugged or Fountainhead or Anthem. You know, I didn't see Tiger Mom by Amy Chu. And notice how everybody says they're all bitches. Whenever a woman does something great, she's a bitch. Okay. Let's see, what else? At least I did see some of the classic novels like Christmas Carol, Les Miserables, Brothers Karamazov, which felt like, you know, something out of Western Abbey, but it was good. It, you know, gave you a sense of hope that a good thing can survive. And young people should read that kind of stuff because it ennobles you. Like Aristotle had said, The poetry, the stories, the Iliad and the Odyssey were more important than the histories of Herodotus, for example, because they give you a sense of how life ought to be, of what a man should aspire to. And young guys need that. A lot of young kids are growing up in broken homes, single mom homes, and they don't have a father figure man around. Guys need that. A woman, she can raise a boy up until puberty. After puberty, he needs to be around men to have that objective sense of the world. A lot of women, they kind of grow up in this protected world. Men protect them their whole life. They don't have to deal with the harshness of reality. Okay, whereas, that's why women don't have any shoulder, upper body strength. They're only designed to control the boy till he hits puberty, and he needs to be around men. Because women grow up with everybody being nice to them. But at least they did in old America. In new America, it's a lot harder for them. But in old America, so a boy, though, needs to know that nobody's going to be nice to him. Nobody cares about men. So a man has to really work hard to develop himself. I've heard the different guys, like I think it was Casey Zander, he would say, a woman is born with high intrinsic value, and she needs to protect it. Not be a whore, not get a million tattoos, not be a stupid sleaze, that kind of thing, become a fat slob. Whereas a man needs to develop his value, get an education, learn some skills in whatever area he has an interest. Okay, there were no writers like me, of course, sort of the old school masculine trying to help people, not in the stores. We're shadow banned on the internet, we're shadow banned in the internet stores, we're shadow banned on the video channels, most of them, not all of them, but there's not much of an audience on the other ones. Anyways, so the bottom line is USA is majorly in a decline and a collapse, and everybody should be speaking up about trying to get things back, okay? And basically, I said it before, the only thing that's going to save America, going to save our institutions, is Christian ethics, because you have to value doing what is right, doing what is good over the money. And there's always more money in being a liar, a cheater, and a thief than there is in doing what's right. So it has to be valued by all of society, and all of society should talk about these things. Otherwise, we're going to end up like Britain. They're just being genocided, destroyed, pushed in the third world, flooded with third worlders, and Muslims beating the crap out of them, R.A.P., the women in the streets. Okay, if that's what you want, then just act like nothing's happening, and that's what's going to happen. But, there's hope right now in the United States that we can turn it around. Hopefully, we will.